Hey there, it's Ashley Drummond and welcome to my kitchen where today I am going to show you how to make really delicious pumpkin protein bars. So these are crustless, so it's gonna taste like a pumpkin pie without a crust, and it legitimately tastes like a pumpkin pie. Some would call these keto, some would call these high protein, low carb, some would call these whatever you want, but honestly, they're just delicious, and this is just what I enjoy. A few key ingredients that you need. As you can see, it's not a lot. You will need a 13x9 pan to bake in. You'll need some sort of mixing bowl. You'll need a saucepan to boil in. And then the actual food ingredients. So I have, these are kind of already open. 2 cans, 2 15-ounce cans of pure pumpkin. Make sure you are getting 100% pure pumpkin and not pumpkin pie or pumpkin pie filling. So this is actual pumpkin, and the reason being is because if you get the other kind, the pumpkin pie filling, it's full of sugar, so we don't want that. I have Himalayan pink salt. You can just use regular salt, but you'll just need a dash of that. I have unsweetened coconut milk. You don't have to use coconut milk. You could use almond milk. You can use regular milk, low fat, skim. It's your choice. I use coconut milk because it doesn't have sugar in it and it's only 40 calories for a cup. Also, just because I kind of like to limit how much milk I drink. Anyways, so you need that. Whatever source of milk you want, you'll need 2 cups of that. You will need some sort of vanilla protein. This one is a blend of whey and casein. You could probably do 100% whey. I would not do 100% casein. I like blends though, and it's just more, I don't know, it just works better in baking. So you'll need that. And then I have just a pumpkin pie spice flavor. You can use this, or you can use the actual breakdown, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, it's totally up to you. But so that's everything that you need. You're gonna set your oven to bake at 350. I already have this set, so it's heating up. First thing you need to do is take your coconut milk, 2 cups, so you can pour this in a mixing cup or you can just pour it in this. And you're gonna pour the 2 cups into your saucepan and bring it to a boil. So we have to do this first. So here's 1 cup. I could have pre-measured this stuff and been super fancy, but I was trying to show you the exact ingredients. So then we have 2 cups. Oh, I almost forgot. You also need 3 eggs. I didn't see them because I was pointing at everything else, but you also need 3 eggs. Okay. So, we have the 2 cups of coconut milk in here. You can go ahead and include your pumpkin pie spice or your cinnamon and nutmeg, whatever is best for you. Put some of that. And then a dash of salt. So this is pink Himalayan salt. And we're gonna bring this to a boil, so I'm gonna put this on high. This will probably take a few minutes. Just a fun fact, I'm gonna pause this while this boils, but fun fact about pink Himalayan salt. Pink salt and Himalayan salt is actually a natural healing, energetic process in the body too, so just keep that in mind. All right, while this heats up and starts to boil, I'll pause this and come back, and then I'll explain the next part of the process. Okay, so my coconut milk is starting to boil a little bit. It's not quite there, almost. In the meantime, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our 3 eggs and put them in some sort of mixing container. You could use a cup, a bowl, whatever's easiest. So I'm gonna crack these are whole eggs. You can see my trash can. Because we want to kind of whisk these and beat these first a little, just to make sure they're all mixed up before we put the whole mixture together. So just like that. I use a fork, you could use an actual whisk. And we're just gonna kind of mix those up like we're making scrambled eggs. And this will be part of what goes in this bowl. Just like that. Give this coconut milk a little stir. Okay, so coconut milk is boiling. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna immediately turn this off, put this in our mixing bowl. So we're gonna pour all that in there. We're then going to first put our pumpkin in. So I'm just using a spoon. I'm gonna put this in. Part of the reason with heating the milk is it'll help this really dissolve and mix really well. So this is 1 can. I mean, you could use 2 cans. I use about 1 3/4, to be totally honest, because the total number is about 2 cups, so I kind of just measure it based on the can. It's easier, and I just don't really, I'm not that concerned. We're just gonna pull that out. Okay, you know, sometimes stuff happens. Okay, so we have this in here. We're gonna stir this up. I'm just using a spoon. I'm not using anything fancy. A big spoon would be helpful, but you wanna mix this in first until you have a nice smooth mixture. So it's looking kind of like pie filling. I don't know if you can actually see that. That's kind of what it looks like. It's definitely runny. So then we have this mixed up. We're then going to take our protein powder and we're gonna do 5 scoops. So 5 level scoops. I'm using vanilla. You can use whatever brand you want. It doesn't really matter. That's 2, 3, 4, 1 more. I feel like I'm counting reps over here. 1 more, 5, okay. So there's 5 of that. We're now gonna stir this in. I actually might switch to a different mixing tool because this spoon is so small. Okay, I actually switched my mixing tool to my little baby whisk just because that spoon was too short, so I'm just using a whisk. So you're gonna mix all of this in really good. It actually smells so good. If you can see this, it's starting to look like pie filling. We're gonna mix this all in. Then you're gonna add in your 3 eggs that we beat just a second ago. So you can add these in. This will help with the baking to help it rise. Stir that all up. Now you have the option, you don't have to, but if you want to sweeten it, I actually am gonna sweeten it just because I want it to taste like pumpkin pie. So you can see this has a really good thick consistency right now. That's how yours should look too, regardless of what milk you use. You should have something similar. So I have liquid stevia here. I like using this to sweeten it. We're gonna do a full dropper of this because liquid stevia is super strong. So I'm gonna drop this in here. Mix that up. You don't even, really, you don't need a beater or a mixer or anything. You could use a mixer if you wanted to, but you don't need to. All right, this is pretty mixed up. This is the consistency. It's like, it really is like pumpkin batter, so it's kind of thick. Don't know if you can see that. There's steam coming off of it. But okay, so our oven is at 350. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take, I like these because you can throw them away, but also it's easy to put a lid on it. But a 13 by 9 pan, we're gonna spray it. Make sure none of this sticks. Make sure you get the edges. Okay, and then we're gonna dump this right into this pan. So give it one last little turn. And we're gonna dump this just like this. It's very helpful if you have a flat spatula to scoop all this out. Mine is dirty though because I was making cheesecake bars the other day and I used that and I have yet to do the dishes. So we use the whisk and that is okay. All right. There we go. It smells so good. Set that to the side. I always like to kind of like drop and shake it like that. Sounds like a dance move. I like to move it around like that to make sure there's no pockets. So now we're gonna put this in the oven. We're gonna bake it at 350 for about 20 minutes. Ultimately, we want it to look like almost like a cheesecake or the top of a pie. So go ahead and put it in, bake for 20 minutes at 350, then I'll come right back when it's done. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes, so I'm gonna check it and see how it's looking and then give you feedback in case you have a similar situation. It looks pretty good. Hopefully you can kind of see this. The main thing is making sure, I'll pull this out and set it up here. It looks pretty good. I'm gonna put it back in a little bit. This should be somewhat firm. If you're touching it and you get some of the pumpkin on your finger, it's not quite done. So I'm gonna put this back in for a little bit longer. So we'll do probably about 7 more minutes and then come back and see how it looks. Okay, so I put it back in for about 10 more minutes just because this oven's kind of weird. I haven't used it that much, but it looks to be done now. So pulling this back out, you can see, actually let me close this first. All right. Close this, turn that off. So with the first time that I pulled it out, remember how it was kind of like moist on top? So I'm gonna try my best to show this to you without burning myself because it's actually cracking a little bit and it's kind of baking like a cheesecake, which is what you want. If you're wondering what the stuff is on top, off camera, I sprinkled some more of the pumpkin spice seasoning on there, so that's what it is on top. So the way you would eat this is let it cool, then put it in the fridge, treat it like a cheesecake. So put it in the fridge probably for an hour to 2 hours before it's actually cool. And then I make 9 servings out of this. So I'll slice it horizontally and vertically and do 2 down the middle and 2 down the side. 1 serving is like under 200 calories or something like that. But that is how simple it is to make these homemade pumpkin protein bars. I like to eat them with a little bit of coconut whip. I think True Whip or So Delicious makes them. But I like putting a little bit of that on top and then that's it. I will post the full nutrition for each serving in the website below in the description. That way you can see what the full macronutrients are for this. But that's one of my go-to recipes. I eat these before bed all the time and I love it because I feel like I'm eating pumpkin pie and instead I'm sticking to my nutrition and staying nice and healthy. So check out the website in the description. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you can get more fun fitness, food, and wine education, but also just fun recipes and really to create a body and life that you love. Thank you so much for watching. If there's a specific recipe that you would like to see, please leave it in the comments below and I'm happy to get creative and come up with some stuff. Thanks and have a great day.